Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with tonight's Artemis Roads 3 National Student Challenge presentation. If I go too fast or if I go too slow, please raise your hand, speak up, let me know. This is the third time I've done the presentation, and you guys are getting the new and improved version of it, so hopefully we'll be able to get through everything really quickly. We're going to give you an overview of our staff. Although we are NASA funded and NASA may have 11,000 people working for it, we are a small office and we do our absolute best to make sure that we respond to your questions, to your emails, to your calls, to anything that is concerning to you, either for the companion course, the PD, professional development, our summer mini missions, or the challenge as quickly as we can. But you're going to see we're actually a very small office. So we all work under the direction of Dr. Darcy Snowden. She is our executive director, and she's also an associate professor here at Central Washington University. I'm Deanna Marshall. I'm the program manager here at NESB. I kind of split responsibilities for answering the emails and calls that come into NESB, good Lord, NESB with Anita. Anita, say hello.
Hello.
Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Anita. I'm the Office Assistant 3 here in Ellensburg at the Central Washington University campus. And I'm her right hand. She tells me what to do.
If you were part of the professional development, you got a chance to meet Mary. Mary works remotely, but she has been part of NESB since the very early days under the direction of Robert Wingley. So we're very, very fortunate to have that institutional knowledge here with us. Staff tends to stay, which is a very good thing. Our student assistants are mission assistants. They are all students here at Central Washington University. Abby does all of our digital as well as creative arts. So when you go and look at our social media posts, that's all her. Lana and May are shipping assistants. They make sure that your packages get to you and are shipped in a timely manner. And then Evan is our inventory specialist, and he makes sure that we stay stocked on all of our different supplies that we have and materials for you, so that we can get responses and things to you. That's our staff. So thank you very much for being patient when it comes to us getting things out to you. We work very, very hard to try to turn things over to you as quickly as possible. If you're not familiar with who we are and what we do, I'm going to give you a very quick overview. We are NASA's presence in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. So if you look on the little map that's here, you'll see all of these lovely, hang on, let me move this out of the way. All of these lovely stars, which represent where NASA already has centers. Ames, for example, here in California, Johnson Space Center, Stennis, Kennedy, which is extremely well known, Marshall Space Flight Center, Langley, Glenn Research, Goddard in Maryland, and over in Ohio, again, Glenn Research and the Neil Armstrong Test Facility, and the space studies up in the Northeast. You might notice that there's a huge gap in the middle of the state, and definitely a huge desert for NASA in the Pacific Northwest, which is where we fill in here. So we are specifically funded by NASA to provide hands-on activities based on NASA's missions and science. And we do that for communities that are rural, underserved, and underrepresented. And we're looking to foster and increase interest in STEM careers, as well as hoping that students will go off and become scientists, as well as work in the STEM fields as their chosen career. We do provide services across the U.S. through the National Student Challenge, but we do try to hone as much of our resources as available into the Pacific Northwest, again, because there is a huge gaping hole in that area. Okay, we are a consortium of different organizations that we fund through our grants, so we're very, very fortunate for that. We partner with 12 different organizations across the Pacific Northwest and also in Arizona, where we are providing services to, again, rural, underserved, underrepresented communities. We're very, very fortunate with our partnership at the Montana Learning Center out of Montana. Ryan there has been able to develop resources and partnerships with all of the indigenous tribes in Montana, which is a great resource. Montana State University is where the Montana Hub will be hosted, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Our relationship through Museum of Flight helps us provide students with aerospace careers and resources specifically here in the Pacific Northwest. Our relationship with Northern Arizona University allows us to reach other indigenous tribes in the Arizona area. Bremerton, we are very fortunate. If you were in the PD, you got to meet Kim. Kim is our education specialist who develops all of our PD, professional development, the companion course lesson plans, and helps provide the resources and materials for the challenge. OMSI out of Portland is our connection to the greater Portland area. And then the Pacific Science Center fills in here in the Washington area. Red-Tail Hawks is a flying club that provides resources and education for students to become pilots while they are in middle school and high school. It's not unusual for a student to start in middle school with the Red-Tail Hawks, and by the time they graduate high school to have already received their license. So I know a couple people here are in Civil Air Patrol, very similar to the program that you guys do. University of Idaho STEM Access provides our hub for Idaho. Susan Stoffer there, if you're from one of our Idaho schools, you've probably worked with Susan. Absolute positive little powerhouse in Idaho. And she is planning to run 3 hub events in Idaho this year. And that's just a wonderful resource for our students in Idaho. Our relationship with University of Washington Riverways provides resources for our indigenous tribes here in Washington State through the alternative spring break. And then Port Orchard, again, up in upstate on the water in Washington, helps us reach more rural communities out in that area. So if you're new to NESB and new to roads, oh, I made an assumption here. NESB, NESSP, Northwest Earth and Space Sciences Pathways. You'll notice that we say NESB, but our domain is nwessp.org. Please make sure you put the W in there. If you forget to put it in there, you will end up at a site that's in the Northeast. That is a religious organization. I've been trying to convince them now for about 5 years to give us their domain, but they were here first, so they get it. So please make sure if you're doing web searches or trying to reach us via email, please make sure you put the W in the email address. It's very important. So ROADS is our acronym. We're part of NASA. We've got an acronym for everything. For our framework that allows us to provide resources based on NASA missions. So ROADS stands for Rover Observation and Discoveries in Space. And through that framework, students explore STEM activities that are NGSS aligned, Next Generation Science Standard aligned, to hands-on activities. Our programs are geared for K through 12, but we specifically provide resources and education for grades 3 through 12. Under the ROADS framework, students will be modeling their own NASA mission. Again, we take inspiration from real NASA missions. The problems and the challenges that the students will be solving are the same problems and challenges that NASA scientists and engineers need to solve in order to get their jobs done. Each year we update the challenge and update the companion course to a new mission, and they reflect either current or ongoing NASA missions. So the patches and the logos that you're looking at right now, that's from our history, where we started with the next Apollo Next Giant Leap Student Challenge, or ANGLES. Then we changed over to the rover rover observation and drone survey. That was the very first roads acronym that we have on Mars. Then lucky for us, COVID hit and we had to go remote. So that became the freestyle challenge. After that, we came back to icy worlds, roads on icy worlds. After that, it was roads on asteroids. Then when the grant moved to Central Washington University, where it now resides, we went and we've been tackling the Artemis missions. So Artemis 1, Artemis 2 was last year, and this year we are at Roads 3, Artemis Roads 3. Your mission patch, like our mission patch, should tell you a little bit about who you are, who we are, and what they can expect. So I'll give you a little bit of clues right now about our mission patch. If you have not been part of PD, you might not have seen the mission patch or known what it means. So the colors are tied to the Earth. Okay, so here we've got this beautiful green color. We've got a plant here, so maybe that's a clue to what's going on with the challenge. We've got a rocket. How are you going to get into space? Maybe that's a clue about the challenge for this year. Here's our little rover. Little rover is not exactly, kind of hidden. It's kind of between things. So maybe that's another hint about the challenge for this year. Oops. Okay. So with the challenge, and this is a separation between the challenge and the companion course, the challenge follows a set timeline. If you sign up to be a roads educator to host a challenge team at your location, you will be expected to turn in and to basically check in with us at specific times during the challenge. So please, if you're planning to be a mission advisor, please make sure you register on or before January 25th. Please do it ahead of time. It takes anywhere for 2 to 5 weeks, depending completely upon how quickly your organization can turn around the DocuSign contract in order to get you registered so that you can then sign up a team. And we have teams that are already signed up. We've already started shipping equipment out. You are not behind the 8 ball. The challenge registration does not close until January 25th, so you're quite all right if you're just now finding out about things. But I just want to let you know that the sooner you get registered, the sooner we will ship out supplies to you, if you qualify. Our first checkpoint after registration closes that you will need to be aware of is February 12th. This is checkpoint 1. This is where you're going to select your crew and tell us information about them. Again, we're grant funded, so demographics are very important to us. We need to know who your team is, who the students are, their first and last names, their gender, their ethnicity, and their age. These are demographics that are required for us to capture for a grant to confirm that we are in fact providing services to rural, underserved, and underrepresented communities. And at that checkpoint, you will send us your mission patch. That is all that's required for the February 12th check-in. The next checkpoint on March 10th, was just about a month later. You're going to let us know if you want to come to a hub event. In order to come to a hub event, you're going to need to have completed mission objective 2, which is your mission patch, and then have worked on I believe it's 2 more. I'm doing this from memory. I actually don't have this written out in front of me. Showing that you are working on 2 other checkpoints, mission objectives that are not mission objective 1, which is your MDL. And I'm going to go over all the mission objectives in a few minutes. Is not mission objective 1, because that's the easiest of everything. That's basically you just gathering your team together. Mission objective 2, you will have told us about at checkpoint 1, and then just let us know which of the other mission objectives you're working on. And we'll talk about those in a few minutes. Then if you've signed up to come to a hub event, we'll have our hub events in April and May. We do, this is what I'm looking for. All right, so teams show the results for mission objective 2. Again, that's your mission patch. Mission objective 6, mission objective 7, and at least one additional mission objective for an in-person. And that's what you're going to show. You just need to have been working on them during this time. It's very doubtful that you will have them completed. Okay, then by May 30th, you'll submit everything online, your complete mission development log. That's what MDL stands for. Again, NASA acronym, you're welcome, which shows us all of the great things that your team has accomplished, as well as some of the challenges and things that you were not able to, your failures, your team failures. What we're looking for with the challenge is a creative and problem-solving mindset. This is not a competition. This is a challenge. How did your team go about trying to solve the problem? So for teams that didn't get everything quite right, that's great. That's fine. We want you to start having that mindset. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of the challenge team, who it's good for, some of the benefits for doing it. So who is a challenge team for? It's really ideal for your classroom, an after-school program, a science or STEAM club, youth organizations, and for homeschool organizations. An adult needs to be the mission advisor, and the team is made up of 3 to 6 students in grades 3 through 12. The challenge mission objectives are NGSS aligned, and they're also grade, goodness gracious, I can't think. They're set up by grades. So grades 3 through 5 are early elementary. They have requirements to sign in based on their skill set. For middle school, again, there are tasks that they will complete for the middle school grade set, and then again for high school. Within the challenge in the manual, if you haven't gone online already, you can pop online and take a look at the challenge manual. You'll see some icons that represent specific things that we're hoping that your students will add into their mission. Each mission objective has a local and culturally relevant item to it. We want the students to see themselves as they are and who they are as scientists and as engineers for the future. Again, grade level adaptation for each of the different grade levels. There's a career connection tied to it. We want them to bring their curiosity and to bring things and information that they already know about the different mission objectives. Again, a challenge team is made up of 3 to 6 students. They must reside within the continental US, Hawaii, Alaska, or Puerto Rico. It is quite okay to mix the grades within the team. Your division is going to be determined by the oldest team member, and anybody attending the Kennedy Space Center trip must be over 11 years of age in order to attend the Kennedy Space Center trip. The trip is a little too strenuous for students in the upper elementary. So please keep that in mind. And yes, if you have a 5th grader on a high school team, the 5th grader will not be able to attend the Kennedy Space Center trip if they are not over 11 years of age. So please keep that in mind when you're setting up your teams. People always want to know what the time commitment is on this. We have historical knowledge to go on based on the information the mission advisors have told us from prior years. Last year and the year before, we were averaging about 30 to 40 hours to complete the entire challenge. So I would expect that to be the same for this year. Pretty much plan on about 4 hours per mission objective to complete them. There are 8 mission objectives in this year's challenge, so you're talking at about 32 hours, give or take. Let's see, your workflow, something to think about. You're going to start with mission objective 1, that is gathering your MDL, your mission development log. Mission objective 2 is your mission objective patch. Then you'll work on mission objectives 3 through 7 in any order. And then mission objective 8, which is where you will submit your MDL is due on May 30. Please keep in mind you can work in any order that you want to, whatever is going to work for you. You can set up to meet once a week with your team, twice a week for an hour, whatever works for you for your organization. Okay, no, okay. Again, we are a challenge, not a competition. We're looking to develop that problem-solving mindset. We're facilitating the engineering thinking. Students are going to be working in a science and engineering notebook, SEN, not MDL. They're two different things. We're going to be fostering creativity and inquiry. Things are solution-based. It's okay if your solution isn't exactly right. How did you get there? That is what we're trying to solve. And we want you to document, we want the students to document their process. We're going to be building skills that they will use later on life to be successful, collaborating. They're working in a team. Your team sizes are 3 to 6 students. I'm going to talk about a little bit of a quirk with that in a few minutes. Our challenge manual will be available in both English and Spanish. The Spanish is coming soon. It's actually being translated now. I would say it'll probably be available in Spanish by the January 25th date, if not sooner. And again, you'll notice within the mission objectives, there's every mission objective has something that is locally and culturally adaptable. Having the students see themselves as scientists is one of the most paramount things that we focus on within our challenge. So our challenge manual is available online. There are 8 missions, as I've said, for the challenge this year, broken up across 3 different units. Okay. Okay, so here are mission objectives in detail. Mission objective 1, the MDL. This is where your team is going to plan, discuss all of their trails, all of their trials, all of their failures, document. We provide a template that must be submitted if you're going to go for the Kennedy Space Center trip, if you're a middle and high school team, to submit. Even if you're in elementary school, you'll still submit your MDL. We still have something special for our early elementary team, for our elementary teams, just not the Kennedy trip. Mission objective 2 is build a strong project team. This is where they're going to create their mission patch that represents their Artemis Roads mission, their culture, and their team. Mission objective 3, again, you can do these in any order. Investigating water on Earth and the moon. You're going to create a place-based water cycle model that designs and tests a water purification system. There's ice on the moon, but you can't exactly drink it. So they're going to have to come up with a way to harness the water that is on the moon and make it drinkable. Growing food on the moon, last time I checked, and that was like earlier today, you cannot DoorDash Taco Bell to the moon. So it's going to be very important that we grow food on the moon because there's currently no agriculture. Well, okay, China grew a plant about 2 years ago, but the last I heard it died. So I don't think we can use that for a food source. So our students in Mission Objective 4 are going to create an agricultural plan to grow food on the moon. Mission Objective 5 is ROVing under the moon. This is going back to our mission patch. This is the clue that was there. They're going to build and program a lunar lava tube explorer that can autonomously navigate a lunar lava tube and take measurements. Mission Objective 6 is designing a human-rated rocket. They're going to design and test a rocket and a crew capsule that is safe and reliable enough to deliver astronauts or chipstronauts to the moon and then safely return them home. Mission Objective 7 is where we definitively bring in the career connection and we have the students envision their role and tell us about their dream job at NASA. Mission Objective 8 is where you bring everything back together and they reflect on their mission. They'll reflect on their work and summarize their work in their MDL. All of the details for their engineering process will go in their science and engineering notebook. Their MDL is going to be the summary, and it has a set size limit. The MDL has a template, and you will follow it to submit. Our challenge manual walks you through everything that you need to know. There's mission guidance, there's a summary of what you'll be doing, what materials are needed, some more resources that are available, what you can expect, the locally and cultural relevant material, and then the deliverables, what belongs in your MDL. You can see here, and I know it's very, very small, every MDL must include. And then for our middle and high school students, they have something very specific that they will be including in their MDL. Challenge supplies are provided to qualified teams. In order to qualify, our educators or mission advisors have programs that are in rural, underserved, and underrepresented communities. Again, here in the US, continental US, Alaska, Hawaii, or Puerto Rico. We will provide you with a water quality test pen, a grow light with remotes. We have some with remotes and some without. So depending upon the luck of the draw, you may get a grow light without a remote, but it will still work. A clamp lamp to put your grow light in, a digital scale, Lego spike bot, and the water bottle rocket launcher and altitude tracker. Please keep in mind that if you request multiple teams, we are limiting supplies to a maximum of 3 teams that we will support, and each team must have 6 team members. So you're welcome to host as many teams as you want. We will only be able to provide you supplies for up to 3 teams, and each of those teams has to have 6 people in it if you qualify. And I can explain that better if you have any questions as we go along. Hold on one second. There was a question in the chat that I missed. Oh, thank you, Anita. She was helping me out with the checkpoints. Throughout the challenge, we will have 2 expert talks from NASA. They will help students see their place as part of the grand scheme of NASA. The talks are aimed at the middle school level so that they feel very comfortable talking with our experts. The expert's going to talk about their path into science or engineering, what their day-to-day job is like, how their job relates to the Artemis mission, and any science or engineering that is related to our current roads challenge. Of course, it's not going to go. There it goes. Okay. At the hub event, what can you expect at the hub event? If you decide to come, there will be a top secret, we don't tell you what it is, surprise activity while you're there, but your students will also have an opportunity to show us what they've accomplished so far in a science fair type environment. It is meant to be fun. It is not meant to be stressed. The students have a really great time, and we do everything that we can so that the students have a chance to really shine. Our hub events this year will be here in Ellensburg, Washington, Moscow, Idaho, Twin Falls, and possibly also Boise. Susan is working on adding that 3rd location in Idaho, Flagstaff, Arizona, Bozeman, Montana, and Austin, Texas. If you are not near one of those regions, it's quite all right. You can present at a local STEM or regional STEM event near you, or you have the option to submit all of your materials virtually. The NASA Kennedy Space Center always has a lot of questions. We are there basically for a week. We will fly you and your team out from the largest airport in your region. So let's pick on Idaho. And I'm going to choose the airport that's not the largest airport. It's the one that's coming to mind. Spokane and Moscow are right next to each other. So we typically send teams that are in the Moscow area right out of the Spokane airport. We'll fly them out to Kennedy. Usually we start on a Monday. Monday is a flight day. Tuesday, we do beach. Let's see if I can do this from memory. Tuesday is a beach day. Wednesday, Thursday, we are at Kennedy Space Center doing behind the scenes tours. Friday is a travel day. So these are pictures from the last few years that we've been to Kennedy Space Center. The group picture down here on the bottom, this is the group that we just took this last August. We usually take 12 to 14 teams. It's about 75 people, all expense paid for the trip. This is the acknowledgement for the students for their hard work to get everything in for the MDL and for the mission. So that's pretty much the challenge in a nutshell. How to register as a roads educator. We have a new process this year, and it does take a little bit of time. So please do not wait until that January 25th date. It will get here faster than you realize, and then things will crunch down because there's going to be the February 12th due date right behind it. So to go and register as a roads educator, you'll go out to our website. You will register first, okay? We will then send the standard agreement to your organization. You will tell us who your AOR is, another acronym, your authorizing official representative. This is the person at your organization that is authorized to sign agreements for your organization and can provide information regarding insurance for your organization. They will also be the one that verifies that background checks have been done. We deal with minors and children, so background checks must be done for all mission advisors. Then once your AOR returns the document, it's all done electronically. It's done via DocuSign. Our contracts department will send out the email to that person. They will sign it electronically. It'll come back to us. We will then contact you via the educator profile page and let you know that you can then sign up your teams. You'll then be able to sign up your teams. You'll tell us how many teams you're going to sign up, what supplies you're going to need, and then we'll send those out for you, and then you can start working on the challenge. Now, you can do everything in tandem. So once you know who the students are that you want to be part of your team, you can start working on the challenge before we have everything completed in here. Just know that you are not going to be an official team until everything comes back through step 3. And I can explain that better if there's still questions. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and actually take a moment to ask for questions. That is the challenge in a nutshell. And that is what's running right now, and probably what you guys were most interested in with questions. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take them now. We'll talk about our other programs that we offer across the year in a few seconds. So feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand, put it in the chat. Let me know if there's questions. And I don't have any hands raised, so are we good to go, guys? No questions?
Yeah, and I have a couple questions from the kids.
Go for it.
All right, one question from me though, from what y'all just said. You said 6 people this year?
3 to 6 people are on a team, and that's always been the
Like, and
highlight.
the 6 is supported for the hub events and the Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
that's if you're going to request supplies. So if you already, okay, so we were actually talking about you earlier today. You already have like 6 kits. I think you even have more than 6 kits, right? Because you've been with us forever.
for what? The
Spikes.
robot, I
Yeah.
originally got 4. 3 or 4 is what I have, and they're the original EV3s from, that'd be Mars or the one after that.
Okay.
And so that would have been 2020-ish. And then the rest I got through my school grant programs.
Okay. So that's fine. So if we've already provided you with either spikes or EV3s, depending upon how long you've been with us, we're not able to provide additional spikes.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just having the kids share for the robots this year. They're just gonna have to share.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
Yep. And you probably already have the water bottle rocket launcher from last year.
I didn't get anything. Remember, they couldn't sign the contracts last year.
Oh, okay.
And she's not joking. If y'all are in the chat, if you
Okay.
work for a big school district and it takes a while, it's gonna be a long process.
Please start now.
Yeah.
We actually started sending out contracts, I'm gonna say November 13th, and that was a batch of about 80 between November 13th and this week. We sent out about 80 to 100 contracts. We have about 3/4 of them signed. And that's with us trying to follow up every 2 weeks, you know, with the AORs and with the school districts to try to keep you guys on track so you get your supplies. So please don't wait until the last minute. I want everybody to be happy. I'm a people pleaser. I want you to be happy. So help me make you happy. So if you haven't requested the water bottle rocket launcher, once you get registered, you'll be able to sign up and request your supplies. You can do the launcher, you can do the altitude tracker, the water pin, the water quality testing pin will be new for you for this year. Do you have grow lights from Artemis Roads 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 3 grow lights, so we're
Okay.
fine on that.
Yep. So that's probably all that you would need for this year. Those are the new
pen and
things.
a rocket. We don't have a rocket. So the pen and the rocket were the only 2 things that I really, like I said, in the future, if we get to stay with it, then we'll have to eventually, because the EV3s are just, they've seen their day, unfortunately.
Regarding the EV3s,
Yeah.
we would be able to support you if you just email me and say our EV3s are like 8 years old now.
Yeah.
We would be able to swap those out for you. That would be a 1-for-1 swap. And we would not want the EV3s back. We will send you new equipment. Don't send the EV3s back to us. Just let me know that you've been with us forever. And I know you've been with us forever.
Let's see where the contract dance ends
Okay.
this year, because that's always the hard part with the
It is.
bureaucracy. And everybody gets scared the minute they hear contract. Okay, so the kids were asking this year, because we've gone to hub events and they're amazing if y'all get the chance to go. But the kids were asking about Kennedy, because my 8th graders, remember, won't be with me. We finish actually 2 weeks before the challenge even ends. But my 8th graders will be in high school at that point, and they were asking about when have y'all historically gone and how long does that last?
Anita has the calendar in front of her. I'm gonna say we normally go second week in August.
August 11th through the 15th.
Okay, so that's our first week of school.
Yes,
Okay.
on the dates, no matter what date we choose, it's not gonna work for
Yeah,
everybody.
That's
That
okay.
is the best, yeah, that's the best that we can do because that's after our mini missions are done for us. And it
Mhm.
gives us literally a 1-week break before we immediately go into something else. So that's when we're looking, and the date probably will not change. We're very close to saying that we're going to be on that week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they asked if y'all limit the numbers by region. And I think what they're asking is, like, do you only have so many groups going from each? Because they were looking a lot at the map that y'all made the other day about where everybody's from.
We we take all 50 states and Puerto Rico, and basically cut it up by time zone, right?
Okay.
So, and then we try to choose 2 to 3 teams from each of the areas based on the team saturation within the zone. So we try to make it, so if we have 100 teams in the Pacific Northwest and 3 teams in the East, right? We try to make it so that it's as balanced as possible, and we do a weighted score, if that makes sense, so that our 100 doesn't overpower the 3 that are on the East Coast, because they'd never get a chance, right? So yeah, it becomes a voting nightmare, but we try to make everything as balanced as possible.
No worries. Last one's from me. When the contracts, like I said, and this may be relevant to anybody from a big district,
Mhm.
like I said, when the contracts do go through, we talked about the person. Last year it died in curriculum. This year I'm hoping it at least makes it to the school board.
Okay.
And so just send you the name as soon as we know who that final person who gets to say yes is.
So, okay, so yes, and you're the perfect scenario to ask this question. When you register as your roads educator, You
Mhm.
may think that it's your principal, that is your AOR, but as it goes through all of the different levels, you discover that it's your superintendent that is going to be the AOR. When you find out that it's the AOR, just email us and say, our AOR is now this person. We will then forward the DocuSign to that AOR.
Yeah,
It
on
doesn't,
ours,
it doesn't
the
have to go back
contract,
through it.
the contract has to originate at the campus
Okay.
it is being enacted at,
Ooh,
and it has to go through a process, and then it depends on, like I said, the merry-go-round. They
Uh-huh.
just have a required process
uh-huh.
for everything, unfortunately, so it has to start at one level, and then it goes through a computer program at that point.
Mhm. Let's figure it out because the DocuSign can't be forwarded. So let's figure it out. And when it breaks, we'll figure out how to fix it. Again,
Awesome.
a challenge mindset. We figure it out as we go.
No worries. Like I said, last year was the first year in many years we haven't gotten to actually we still participated, but we just didn't do it officially.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. There were some other questions in here. Christy Power wants to know if the AOR has signed the contract yet. I'll have Anita look that up and send you a direct message, Christy. And
Thank
then
you.
Lonnie wants to know if each team needs their own mission advisor. Lonnie, you can have one mission advisor for multiple teams. If you're coming to a hub event, you will need another adult per team, which means that adult's going to have to agree to do a background check regardless of which hub you go to. That's a requirement for the different colleges that the adult supervising the team has to have had a background check. So does that answer your question, Lonnie?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like I'm bringing a parent, then that other person,
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
but
Yep.
they don't have to go through the whole contract thing. If I've already done it, I can have two teams underneath
Right.
my blanket.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. No more questions in the chat, so we'll soldier on. All right, going to change gears just a little bit and talk about all the other programs that we offer throughout the year. We are a year-round program. I'm going to start, let's start here since we're in the National Student Challenge. What will come up next will be our mini missions, which is in the summer. So the National Student Challenge officially runs from January to June. For grades 3 through 12, U.S. citizens, tribal organizations, U.S. territories. All of our resources for all of our programs are online year-round. The National Student Challenge has a long-term loan, which is the equipment that we send out to you. And as you just heard from Ms. Fulkerson, she's been with us for quite a long time. She has EV3s. There are teams out there that have let's see, what are the different things they sent out for robots? At one point, they were sending out make blocks, which are sort of like erector set kits. Some teams use, I don't know why, but they like Vex. So they make as small a Vex robot as possible. You're going to want to keep your robot. If you have a programmable robot that you're already comfortable using, you're welcome to use it. If you're involved with FIRST, an FRC robot will not fit on the map. So please keep in mind, you're probably only looking for about a 1 or 2 pound robot. So if you have BoBots or Parallax robots, those will work fine. Anything pretty much larger than, let's go with a bread box is even too big. Maybe a quarter of size of a bread box is just a little Lego hub. That's the proper size. Plus this year with everybody going through the lava tube, you cannot be too much larger than the Spike brain or the EV3 brain. You will not fit through the lava tube. So once we send you the equipment, we want you to be a mission advisor for life. So we want you to stay with us so you do not have to send the materials back to us. Please feel free to keep them year to year, and please be with us year to year. It's really heartwarming when we have mission advisors that have been with us for years, from the very first challenge, the English challenge, or from freestyle, or from Roads on Mars, icy worlds, and then the Artemis missions. It's really cool. We really like getting to know our mission advisors. Our mission advisors that are with us during the year and those that are not, they can join us during the summer for our mini missions. These are summer programs where we provide you with all the resources, all of the materials to host a summer STEM camp at your location. You are gifted the equipment for 2 to 4 weeks, the length of time that you need to host your mini missions. We try to send things out about 2 weeks, a minimum of 2 weeks before you say you're going to host your mini mission. And then you have the materials for the length of time for your mini mission and then return them to us. I know it says July to August. Please keep in mind that is the beginning of August, because in the second week in August, we are gone to Kennedy and there's nobody here to support you. So please keep that in mind. Coming back around to August, we host our professional development. We provide equipment to you so that you can take part in the professional development. Things are made on a 2-month loan, so you can take part again in the professional development. That rolls into our companion course, which pretty much runs the academic year, give or take, where we will provide you with resources for a classroom size environment as opposed to a challenge environment, which is only 6 students per team. If you wanted to immerse your students in a classroom or in a grade level, we can provide support for that through the companion course. And again, the materials that we provide is a 2-month loan, and the materials do need to come back to us, because that's basically a lending library where there is another teacher eagerly awaiting for the materials that you are currently borrowing from us. A little bit more about the companion course. It is organized around the 5E instructional model. You'll also see that in the challenge. Again, everything is NGSS standard aligned for all grades. Within the companion course, the 3 units and the 8 lessons, the lessons do vary from 3 to 8.5 hours to complete. So everything is customizable. You can go in and change and make it as extensive or as short as you want. Again, this is how it's going to work within your classroom or within your STEM club. Unit 1 is understanding the mission, should sound very familiar. Unit 2, living and working on the moon. And Unit 3, bringing the mission home. Again, everything is adaptable to your classroom or to your after-school program needs. Each unit and lesson features a guiding question. Everything is locally and culturally adaptable. And as I said, everything's available year-round. You can pop out to our website and pull down the companion course. Again, these are the 3 lessons, excuse me, and the units title within them. The companion course provides additional context, support, and resources for educators, not just formal teachers. There's handouts, videos, images, links, and other resources to really immerse your students and to provide additional resources for your environment. Again, everything is standards aligned to both the NGSS. There are math Common Core standards that are there, and ELA and more. We do everything possible so that educators that need to take the materials into their formal classrooms, they can take them very easily if your school system requires things to be standards-based. This is a look at the companion course materials, and I know it's really, really small, but again, you can pop out to our website and pull the companion course materials down. So again, everything starts with the guiding question. In this one, it's how can we use experiments and rehearsals here on Earth to prepare our astronauts for work on the moon. Then it provides you with the lesson plan. They'll give you the estimated time, the different 5E, how much time to anticipate with it. And again, everything is completely customizable to your time needs. The Spanish language materials are coming soon. Please hold us to that. We are hoping to have them up again by January 25th. Okay. Why would you want to be part of the companion course? There's no submission requirements. Unlike the challenge, which has specific due dates, the companion course, you do at your leisure what fits within your classroom or in your environment. Flexibility of activity order, you can do whatever you want, however you want. It's a great way to introduce the roads activities to your students and to find out who might want to do a challenge for the next year. It is relaxed. I cannot stress that enough. The challenge timeline has a timeline. We're going to expect things at specific dates. Companion course, nope. If you request things and it's on a 2-month loan, you just need to return it, just like a library, by the due date. And unfortunately, we cannot renew things for you. So when we say, please send it back by whatever date, please send it back because there's another teacher waiting for those resources. We only have a set amount of loaner material for the companion course that we set aside specifically for the companion course so that we can support educators in their classrooms. You can opt in for the expert talks, our office hours, or any of our special events. There's no recognition provided. The 2-month equipment loans are available for our qualified educators. We require, in order to request supplies, you have to have attended the PD within the last 3 years. And unfortunately for this year, our request window for loan support has already closed. So again, we're kind of in this weird area where the companion course is running for our educators that took part in PD this past fall. They've requested the companion course. We've set aside equipment for them and we'll be loaning it out to them that have requested it over the year. So if you want to be part of the companion course program next year, be part of PD in the fall. Speaking of PD, it runs August to November. This year, we had 3 different live sessions, okay? So each live session runs 2 hours. You are required to attend the live sessions in order. There is asynchronous work that needs to be done via Canvas, approximately 2 to 3 hours between the live sessions. It supports both the companion course as well as the National Student Challenge. This year, we provided $150 stipend and clock hours are available for completion of all the work. So coming for early fall 2025, we will open up professional development. We'll probably start advertising it. I think we decided to start doing it in June. So we're trying to give even earlier notice this year. So before you guys go out on your summer break, you can sign up for next year's PD. And once you become part of our email list, which it sounds like all of you are already, you'll get notices of when things are happening. And you can always email us at info, and I'll give you that email again in a few minutes. Check our website for what's going on and check our social media. We post routinely now on our social media upcoming events. Summer 2025 are our mini missions. A mini mission, as I said, is a bite-sized version of our full challenge, and you kind of get to pick and choose which of the different elements of the mini mission you want to do at your location, hosting a summer program at your location. You're responsible for recruiting the students, finding the location, and figuring out when you want to host it. We will provide you with everything else. We'll provide all of the materials, all of the resources you need, and we will pay you to host the mini mission. Our support, I just got through all that. We'll provide training. It is virtual. You and Professor Snowden, if she's the one that does it, she usually is. But we're hoping to have a couple of our student assistants lead instruction this year. Again, you guys will coordinate the time for your virtual training. There'll be stipends for you. The recruiting flyers are already up on our website if you want to start thinking about next year. You will apply to be mini mission. We will select 40 this year. We've doubled it each year. We started with only hosting 10 mini missions. This past summer, we actually hosted 22. We're looking to host 40 mini missions this summer. So we'll open up the registration for that in early spring. So you'll apply to be a mini mission instructor. You'll give us some details about what your plans are, and based on that information, we will select. Priority is always given to areas within the Pacific Northwest, rural, underserved, and underrepresented communities, where we have relationships already. So if you're one of our teams in Arizona and you've worked with our hub event there in Arizona, that would be the equivalent to being here in the Pacific Northwest. So if you're like, I'm in Arizona, yes, we would still consider you. So that's something to think about. T-shirts and lanyards are available for students. Those are supplies that you can request. Your supply loan will be for all of the different mini mission options. You'll choose which one you want. Again, we'll provide you with enough supplies for your complete camp to complete the camp activities with your students. And already online are editable certificates of completion for you to print out for your students if that's the route you want to go. Any questions? I took exactly an hour. I'm sorry. I tried to do this in 45 minutes, but I think I got off track somewhere. So thank you for your time. I'm Deanna again. That's my email, info@nwessp.org. Please put the W in there. You guys can reach us anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, at our phone number there. And I'll open it up for questions. Feel free to just unmute yourself or raise your hand or drop it in the chat. Anita, did you have any questions directly that went to you?
No, there were none.
Okay. Any questions, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen? Hi, Simon. How are you doing? I'm sorry. I'm seeing some of the people that I haven't seen in a little bit. Thanks for joining us this evening. I appreciate you guys coming and spending the evening with us. Are there any questions? Not seeing any. That's great. Simon, what's up?
None. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, okay. Okay. Suffering a bit of a cold, but that's right for this
Oh.
time of year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. How are
Yeah.
things going with Red-tailed hawks?
They're going very well.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, yeah. We just had our annual banquet, which went well. So,
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not make it.
well,
I
neither did
didn't make
I.
it. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I did know. I am so sorry. I did know about it. I'm so sorry. It's very difficult to be in Seattle in the evening, in the Seattle area in the evening, and know that I have to deal with the pass coming back.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
of you that are not in the Pacific Northwest, it snows here. We have avalanches here. And that is something that your first year here, you will come to terms to deal with. And there is a nice little pass between Ellensburg and Seattle, which is 2 hours away, that you have to get through the pass and hope there's no avalanches or snow or whiteout conditions, which can happen in a blink of an eye.
Oh boy.
So yeah. How did you guys' event go?
Very well. I didn't actually attend it either. I was in the UK and I got sick.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, caught some UK bug.
no.
Yeah, yeah. But looking forward to this
Great.
year's Artemis.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, please start working on your registering for your AOR.
Yeah.
Register your educator educator registration, so we can get you guys through the process and get everything rolling for you all as quick as possible.
Yeah, will do. I'll be talking with Jesse.
All right, awesome.
Perfect.
All right,
Good
take
seeing
care.
you. You too.
Good talking to you.
Bye.
Anybody else have questions? Is Sylvie still here? Darn, no. Oh, Heather, how are you doing these days?
We're good. I'm gonna try to find my video. Hello, sorry, lights. Good. Excited to get started. Hard to find kids this year.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, we've had a rough 5th and 6th grade for the last 2
Oh.
years. So last year my kids didn't get it finished, so we didn't turn it in. But Hopefully
Always
this year.
turn it in, even if you guys don't get everything, always turn it in, because we'll always send out recognition and acknowledgements to the students, because we know they worked so hard.
Yeah, mine kind of did. So some of them did. So this year is going to be better.
Good.
But yes, I saw us in the picture. I was like, I was there. What did we watch? Fly Me to the Moon last night. And I was like, hey, we were in there. And I was like, I know where that is. I know where that is. We just got to go back for something else. We got to do all the old Apollo launch pads, which was really
Ooh.
crazy. So with we do a rocket club here too. And that was really, really neat.
Oh, nice. So
So-
see, you guys, we weren't, that's not a stock photo. That's a real person.
Yeah, real people were there. It was fun. Hopefully we get to go again.
Well, it's great to see you. Enjoy your winter.
Yeah, it's getting started.
Yeah.
There's my kid.
What?
Oh, and
Nice to
yes,
see
I'm
you.
going to stop the recording now. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.